All right, in this demo, we're going to take a quick look at using Aembit API and our YAML file with Postman. So the first thing you want to do is go to Aembit's documentation site and go to developers. And in the introduction, if you scroll down to the bottom, or if you use this bookmark on the right, it'll let you download the OpenAPI YAML file. So that should be downloaded. All right, now we go here, and what we do is we simply import it. So I'm going to go ahead and select Aembit API. And what you see here is we get the Aembit API. We get V1 and V2. V2 is just a few updates to some of the calls. We're not going to be using any of these in this demo. We're just going to be using a few calls here. So the first thing we want to do is so if I go here and I try to call health, I'm going to click send, and this shouldn't work because this really doesn't know where to go. You can see up here it wants to use the base URL. So the first thing you want to do is go to Aembit API, go to variables, and you want to populate tenant and base URL. So I'm going to go and get these from my tenant. And you can get the tenant ID here. And I'll show you where else you can get it, but that's one place you can get it. And I won't save just yet. I'm going to go grab the base URL. So if you log into your tenant ID is up here, but I'll show you the base URL for the API calls. So you go here, you go to profile, and you'll get two things here. You're going to get an access token. This access token changes every time we log in, but this is the API base URL. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it here. But one thing to note is that this one doesn't have the slash. But when we show the base URL, it shows the slash. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and then save. Okay, now some things like health work. So I didn't put in any API keys or tokens yet, but if I go and do the health, you can see that it gives me some information. It shows me the status, the version, it gives me a hash, and then it gives me the host name, and it gives me the tenant. This host name is actually the one I'm going to use that we put in as the tenant ID. But if I go ahead and copy the access token also, so I copy this, I'm going to come and save this under authorization. Once I save that, if I go back and look at the health, you can see it gives me 5 different bits of information. If I run this again, it gives me a little bit more. It knows who the user is, user's full name, and when the session expires. So once you're actually logged in using the local bearer token, it gives you a little bit more information. All right, now we're going to go look at what you can actually do with this. So I'm going to look at log streams. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the information on the log streams. You can see that there are 3 here. I'm going to go and show you the 3, and then we're going to take some action on them. So under admin, log streams, you can see that there are 3. There's one that's a GCP bucket that I want to send a Splunk. There's another AWS bucket, and then there's one that we're going to delete. So here you can see there's 3. Those are the 3 that I have configured. The first one is the one that I'm going to plan on deleting. And then I have the GCP bucket and I have the AWS bucket. So I'm going to go here and I want to run this that says delete a log stream. And the only thing I really need is the ID. So I'm going to go find the ID for the one that's going to get deleted. So that's the first one. This is the external ID. Now we take the external ID, we go to the delete page, And I'm just going to update this. Be sure to save every time you add something. That way you can use it the next time you want to run more of these commands. I'm going to go ahead and click send, and we're all good. So if I come back here, do a quick refresh, you can see that it's deleted. And then now we're going to look at the logs. Logs take a minute to refresh, so we're going to sit tight for a second. Okay, and here you can see where the actor, A. Canoon, and Aembit.io deleted the log stream. Here's the target name, and it gives you some of the details on how it was run. You can see here it was run via Postman, gives you IP address and so on. So it logs exactly who made the call, where the call came from. All right, so that was using Postman, but just FYI, we also have some of this functionality built directly into our developer page. So if I go here, I can actually populate things like base URL and put in a bearer token and run some of these. And the cool thing here is we also give you samples of code. So here's a curl command, here's Go and Python. So this is another option. The thing with this option is you really can't save these long term. That's why the preference, if you're going to try to save these long term to put into your code, is to use something like Postman. Thank you very much. For more information, please go to Aembit.io. Thank you.